All right, let's start with Tiger Woods, who survived a brilliant, spectacular crash on a sunny morning at 7 a.m. in California when there were no other vehicles around. If you have seen his car, which I think everybody has, I don't know how he survived, but he's perfectly fine. Torso upwards. He's seat belts. I mean, I'm sure he has like all those balloons and shit there. He's a very rich person. So he survived, but this is the third time he had a crash since 2009 when he had a crash and he had a breakup. And his wife left him because he was sleeping with 27 women. Well, let's not talk trash about somebody who just had a very terrible accident. And because I myself run on the road, so I get very scared about this thing right now. So he's fine. He's probably going to come back and play golf at the international level with his son. I think that's what he does recently. Anyway, moving on to more important things, which is Kuldeep Yadav. His pictures have emerged online. There are a lot of memes which have been made just by me, but made popular by people who have a lot of time to forward those emails. He's been seen consoling Dom Bess after Dom Bess was dropped by England on Motera when literally nobody can actually get dropped. Even they were picking me, but I wasn't available. I wasn't there. Then the spy mics have overheard Kuldeep telling Dom Bess that in his Punjabi or whatever accent that, bro, you've been dropped for 2 weeks. I've been dropped for 2 years. And while being in the team. Now, ask you a question because I'm going to be asking a lot of questions. So you'll have to answer like very short, even if I don't say it. This one is a one-word answer. We'll move on to the next one. Should England have selected Dom Bess? Would you have selected Dom Bess? Both
yes.
Makes sense, right? Now, when England drops its specialist spinner for a seamer, they had 4 seamers, okay, on a crazy spin front. No matter what people say, ball spinning, not spinning, it's problematic, right? Pitch like Motera, what the hell does that tell us about Dom Bess or, I mean, what England think of this guy? I mean, literally, I mean, your premium spinner does not get picked. It's not like they're picking somebody else. They just don't pick anybody. They pick 4 seamers and 1 spinner. That's how bad it is. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I don't know why they picked him. Probably got inspired by India. That's why they picked Kuldeep, right? I think that's his role, Kuldeep's role in England team.
I mean, he hasn't had a bad series, right? He had a good series in Sri Lanka. He had a good first match against India. In the second innings, he was off color, if you can say that. But on this pitch, they had 3 pace bowlers and they had fucking Stokes.
Exactly. I mean, at this point, I think they can even drop Stokes. He's not, I mean, on spinning pitches, he's all at sea. He can probably hit a couple of boundaries and eventually gets out. I mean, in the last innings, he didn't even take the review. Like, no, even if I survive this, I'll get out in the next 2-3 balls. So that's the.
He was the highest scorer. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I mean, highest scorer is one thing, but I don't think he's contributing that much. I mean, in 80, how much they scored in second innings? 82 or something?
81 or something.
82, if you become highest scorer, it doesn't mean anything.
He made 25, for heaven's sake. If everybody made 25, there would be 250.
No, I mean...
251 because Leeds scores 1. That's his score. He always does that. Come on, doesn't make any sense. Now you're just deviating. Okay, we have a lot of questions to go for. You just hate Ben Stokes. Now, Bikram hates Ben Stokes. Gautam Gambhir, I'm not sure what Gautam Gambhir thinks. Should Motera be renamed Explodera? That's a stupid question. Don't even answer. Don't answer. Are 2-day tests better spectacles than T20 right now? Because these people are actually competing with T20 right now. Because this is exactly what it is. They played 4 times. And there were 5 sessions and it was all over. This was even more interesting than T20 because everybody agreed that this was an amazing spectacle. People loved it. But now what else? Like 5 sessions? It's supposed to have like what? 15 sessions, right? Yeah, test match supposed to have 15 sessions. Now it had 5 sessions. That's just bad. That's just bad. Should we introduce cheerleaders now in this 2-day test? I'm just calling them 2-day tests because perhaps maybe have live performances like the Super Bowl in the United States, right? They have like all these people coming and Bruno Mars or Weeknd this time. Sorry, which was Bruno Mars, but Weeknd, Shakira and all these people come in and start dancing in the middle. So we have a lot of options. They only have like 1 break. We have like tea break, dinner break, lunch break. We can introduce more breaks just to have more Super Bowl dances. We can have Arijit Singh singing in the middle of the pitch. It does not matter, right? Because pitch is already so bad. They might as well stand on the pitch. They should even remove all the rules of walking on the pitch. It doesn't matter. It does not change anything. nothing. The ball has like, it's dust is coming out of it. Anyhow, it's like a war situation right now. They might have had a war for World War One, World War Two pitches they've been putting in. All right. After you told me all the pitches they have 1,600 pitches, then this is the pitch they come up with. I mean, what's happening?
I think I know Michael Vaughan has been very critical about the pitch, and he's all over social media and all videos and everything saying that it's a bad pitch, and it was a bad pitch. I agree, but if you see the first day, he was on CricBuzz. He said himself that he liked the pitch. I mean, he didn't like the pitch, but he said, I had no problems with the pitch. I think it was a good pitch. I think the problem started on the second day. And I think it's just the combination of a lot of things. The ball being the pink ball having plasticky lacquer on it. And then I think they were trying to make a spin-friendly wicket, and then also trying to, not make it break, because it didn't break as the Chennai wicket. Chennai wicket broke from the first day. But I think it's just the combination of many factors. And obviously there was a mandate, I think, from the team or whatever, BCCI, that the pitch should have spin. And I think we ended up with this thing, which... it was not spinning like Chennai, right? The problem was the straighter balls. Unlike Chennai, not every ball was spinning. So yeah, I think...
Well, I can't even blame you for like saying something, because I can always say like, you have never played cricket, so you don't understand what the hell is going on. But Gautam Gambhir said the same thing. A lot of idiots have also said the same thing. So I can't call you specifically. But the problem is, as a bowler, when you know the ball is going to spin prodigiously, like the way it was spinning was crazy, you can always hold the ball in certain angle when you're bowling that you will deliberately not make it spin, because that confuses the batsman even more. Because now it's like, I have no idea where to play. Should I play the spin? Because if you're a good player of spin, for example, then you can play the line accordingly. But now you have no idea, is this going to spin square or is this going to go straight on? And that just completely messes with your head. You should talk to
I'm not saying
Olipop.
See, I'm not saying it was not a...
spinning.
Yeah, correct. No, I'm not saying that it was not a bad pitch. It was a bad pitch. But when you ask that what happened, what happened with the pitch, it was not a bad pitch on the first day. And that's why I took example of Michael Vaughan, because he has been critical about the Chennai pitch as well. He himself said on CricBuzz that he thought that the pitch was okay. And then on the second day, because India also lost so many wickets, and the ball started spinning from the middle of the pitch as well. So that was why it was said. I mean, if anyone says that it was not a bad pitch, it's a lie, right? Even Virat Kohli said that. But I'm just saying that I think it is a combination of a lot of things, especially with the ball as well, because the straighter ones were going very fast. So yeah, a lot of things. Obviously the pitch was...
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question, because this discussion is going to go on forever, because I think this was a very, very difficult pitch, because most difficult pitches where, because as a spin bowler, I can hold the ball in a way that I don't make it spin. Okay. And then next ball I rip, you will not be able to figure out much difference in that. It's just holding the ball a bit more tighter in your hand. I mean, it's difficult to explain this way, but I can still have the similar action. I can deliberately make sure that the ball doesn't spin. And this pitch was actually very helpful, that when you're actually not trying to spin, it will absolutely not spin. And when you're going to spin it, it's going to absolutely rip. Now, in this situation, why people are getting out on balls which are not spinning so much, or in fact not spinning at all, I can understand that, and you can understand. I mean, if you did not, I can just explain to you, because when the ball is spinning so much, it's almost difficult to get an edge, and that's why when they bowl three of them, and the people are scared, and suddenly you bowl a straighter one which will actually hit the wicket. That's what ends up actually taking the wicket. So if there's a very high probability that you will probably miss the ball, because you obviously will play for some spin, right? You can't just not be playing for any spin. So if you're not going to play for any spin, eventually you'll look like a complete idiot, because you're playing for a straight ball and ball is like spinning everywhere, all over the pitch. So, and if you put enough fielders, it will get some of the edges, right, at some stage. But yeah, generally speaking, because the ball is spinning so badly, and because if they had survived like maybe 60 overs, I can still understand that then the pitch, but they were not even surviving 30 odd overs. So that's why the straighter one was working even better. But if they had spun all the deliveries, they would have gotten out anyway in the first place. They would have gotten out, but because the straighter ones were doing the job, they got out even earlier, and they made like nothing score. Now, so you're blaming pitch, mentality, technique, or I'm blaming Joe Root because he bowled badly in the second innings. I mean, what do you expect me? Joe Root needs to bowl better. He took 5 wickets in the first match. Isn't he the best all-rounder in the world already?
No, I think it's obviously pitch is an excuse, not an excuse. Pitch
No,
was
why they lost?
bigger.
You pick one. Mentality, technique, pitch,
I think
or Joe
team
Root.
selection. England's team selection. They could have easily been competitive in this match if they had.
I'll come back. We'll come back to that then. We'll come back to
Yeah.
that. I'm blaming completely on mentality and technique. Mentality and technique, because there are certain things you can do. You need to just have a clear head about this thing. Okay. I'm actually also blaming Michael Vaughan and all the people who keep telling that this is a bad pitch, and because that just fucks up people's mind.
Correct.
Now,
Correct.
Did this loss prove that India, the toss isn't important? Because I've always said that toss is very important. Now, I have no excuse. England has no excuse. They won the goddamn toss and then they screwed up so badly anyway, right? But the margins were very, very, very finer, right? All England had to do was score 147 and taken a 2-run lead and then score another 137 and then India had to chase 140. A lot of people I had a couple of people saying like, what, India didn't even lose a wicket in the second innings. But that's the difference. When you have 40 odd runs to chase, you just go after it. And then the other team is already rejected. But if the scoreboard was 147 to chase, it completely changes, because even if you're 46 for none, you can suddenly lose 5 wickets for like 8. And that's what happens, right? And that can change because the pitch is certain way. So I don't believe this nonsense that India won by 10 wickets. That's because England completely screwed up second innings. If they had extra 70 odd runs on the board, it could have been a different ball game. Now, are we already calling, giving knighthood, conferring knighthood to, and start calling him Sir Akshar Patel because he took 11 wickets on Motera? Or should we wait till he at least destroys or does something genuinely good in England, against England in England, when India is going there for 5 tests later this year?
Yeah, obviously. It's just, again, we are going back to the same discussion when people say that Ajinkya Rahane is the greatest captain ever. Again, so a small sample size. But Akshar Patel...
yeah, well, exactly same thing happened, right? By the way, exactly.
Yeah,
Isn't
exactly.
Vikram exactly same thing? In fact, it's better, right? Because we won the next 2 test matches.
Yeah. So, I mean... he's a good bowler. He has good record in IPL. He has played limited overs for India as well. But it just, I mean, you can't judge him by these 2 performances. Even Joe Root figures were better than him, right? So he was not even the best.
Joe Root figures were amazing. Apparently the best English spinner ever figures, like for that in India or something like that. It's crazy. And the best captain and just like a lot of things. It's gone crazy. Now,
yeah, it's just crazy that this match was crazy. Yeah.
It's a crazy match. I thought Bairstow looked like this is what I'm comparing him to, and metaphorically, as a 15-year-old virgin priest in Las Vegas strip club. And do you think this is the side effects of English rotation policy, specifically what happened with Johnny Bairstow, who was in good form, plays spin very well? You can't just send somebody home during COVID, then they have to come back. There's so many restrictions. You can't even go out, can't play. You have to like do some few days hard quarantine. India has the least hard quarantine, but still you have to be stuck in. And you're playing test match, right before a test match. You go back home, God knows what you're going to do. Then you come back. Is this the way of preparing? The best way of preparing was going to Sri Lanka, which they did best. That's why Joe Root was in such amazing form. That's why Bess also bowled very well in the first innings. Second, he just completely that's just because he just doesn't have the mental fortitude or whatever. We don't know so much about it. But Leach, everybody who played in Sri Lanka played well, right? Including Joss Butler.
I don't know about Bess because he in the second innings he didn't even bowl that much, to be really honest.
I'm asking you about rotation policy. Forget about
rotation
Bess,
policy. Yeah, it's completely ridiculous.
Again, is this the way of doing it?
Yeah, Bairstow or anyone. I mean, when pre-COVID times, teams used to come play practice matches, couple of matches. They used to get used to the conditions and everything. And now you are just bringing someone from England directly and playing him in on a pitch where the ball is turning and whatever, when it's doing all the tricks. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't think we have to point that out.
Yeah, I'll come back on that because that's something. And now I'm going to say, should we judge again? Obviously, we know what happened with Moeen. If people don't know, he left after the second test match. He did not play the first one. They didn't play him in the first match. And now he has taken a big contract for 100, which he just got paid around $700,000. I don't know why they're saying dollars. And then he got paid 7 crores in India, which is around 750,000 pounds or something like that. So he's got a lot of money. Now, it was pre-decided that he was supposed to take a break. after second test. He did not play the first test, so it meant only he played second test. He can't control that. Then, as the news goes, that he was actually asked if he can stay. He said, well, we had decided, so I want to go back. Now, do we blame him? Although he, according to me, my sources said he did not say just he has to go back to England. There's one line which has been cut off, which I heard, my sources have said. He said, I have to go back to England as my beard's, it's completely true. It's my beard's his beard, long beard, Indian visa has expired. So it was not his problem. It was like his beard's visa. I mean, could he have just cut the goddamn beard, right? I mean, if there's no beard, there's no visa, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you blame him for leaving? Even after remove my scandalous beard part, but you blame him for leaving all the drama that has happened. Could he have stayed because they were not going to pick Bess, right? Bess is in the Kuldeep's boat, and both those boats have like tons of holes, right?
Yeah, correct. I don't really. I mean, blame is a strong word, but yeah, I mean, it's like Virat Kohli leaving during the Australian series. We can't blame him.
Moeen did not have a baby, for fuck's sake, man.
But yeah, I mean, it's up to the player, right? It's at the end of the day, if he doesn't want to play, doesn't want to play. What can you do? But yeah, I mean, for me, blame is a strong word. But yeah,
I'm not saying you making a wrong comparison. It's like apple oranges.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I understand that. But I'm just saying that whatever the conditions were, because we all thought that Bess was rested and he would come back in the third test, but it turned out that Bess was sidelined. So in that situation, he should have stayed, and this would have been a golden opportunity. Like, imagine him playing on this pitch, bowling with Leach. Results could have been really different, I think. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a very practical decision. I'm not going to blame him for it, honestly speaking. I wouldn't have done it because you know me the way I am.
Correct.
I'm very idealistic in that way. I wouldn't have done it. He just had a very practical decision that he feels like, listen, I don't know, he's 33 something, I don't know. He said, listen, I don't want to play here. I get injured or something happens, I don't end up playing IPL, I don't end up playing 100. So, by the way, if you don't play at all, you don't get paid. Okay.
Correct.
Now, unlike IPL, I think I'm not 100% sure, but in IPL, as long as you show up and then you get injured, you still get paid. But in their tournament, you get paid if according to the matches you play, because they don't have the kind of money that IPL has unless you decide yourself to leave. So if he does not play, he might lose like up to more than $1 million, because you have to pay all the fee, agent fee, and other taxes and all that shit. So, but the point is like $1 million is a lot of money because this is not football. People don't get paid so much, and he's Moeen Ali. He's not Virat Kohli or MS Dhoni who'll earn that kind of money even when he's 95. Now. Sanjay Majrekar said, moving on from there, I still don't blame him. It was just a practical decision. I wouldn't have made it. I would have stayed. Because what Moeen does is not that he's a great bowler. He would have taken wickets. But the deal is Moeen Ali can bat and he can make like quick fire 30 odd runs. And that's the mentality I was saying. When you know the pitch, you can't read the pitch. You just go after it. Because when you go after it, you might make like quick 17 runs. And that's what the tailenders do. Just play like a goddamn tailender. Block everything. Or move up the pitch. Learn a little bit from Rohit Sharma, because he's so fucking fat and he moves forward and he just deals with the delivery. I mean, Rohit Sharma has been fucking absolutely amazing. I mean, if anybody has played it right, it's Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma knows what will happen. He knows how to play the straighter delivery. He's just going to go up the wicket and he's going to negate that spin and make sure that if he does get wrapped on the pads, the Hawkeye will probably end up saying the ball is going over the stump, which I don't know what you think about it. It's another topic altogether, but I really think whenever the ball hits the pads, it's definitely not going over. But Hawkeye thinks it's going over, right? When you see a naked eye, you're like, this is definitely hitting the side. But somehow Hawkeye is just completely missing.
No, but that's
not going to start climbing.
That's because we are seeing it through camera, which is placed higher. We are not seeing at the level. From the ground level, so that could always give an impression that it's going over or something like that. So yeah, I mean, not going over.
Yeah, but the Hawkeye feels it's going to go over it, but I just don't feel it's going to hold such massive trajectory in the first place. But I think the Hawkeye thinks like the trajectory will be maintained, and because when ball, it's another topic altogether. But
let's not.
Maybe Hawkeye is right. I just want to see what I want to actually do is. Somehow okay, anyway, that's another topic that's going to be too complicated actually. Let's talk about Sanjay Manjrekar, whom we really love. I mean, I love him indirectly because the person who really loves him is injured right now. Jadeja. So, bits and parts. he said, okay, now we're expecting a wicket to fall even before a ball is bowled. I think that was smart. Some people will not get it. I also think but I think it was exaggeration, but it tells a story. I understand what he's trying to say, but now double downing on that, Virat Kohli said it was an amazing pitch to bat on. I mean, tell that to fucking Johnny Bairstow, who can't even fucking see anything. Now, it's like people are bowling marbles at him, not football. You know, when people used to have this thing in the 90s, right? I have not heard people say this anymore. Indian people used to, now he's seeing the ball as a football. Right? They used to say that, commentators.
Yeah.
Now it's like they were literally bowling him marbles. He couldn't see anything. Is Kohli really speaking out of his ass? I mean, that doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, just one word answer, because I don't want to like spend time on this thing. But come on, you can't just go around saying like this is a good pitch to bat on.
No, obviously not. That's what I mean. For batting, no way.
No way, right? I don't know, Virat Kohli, what the hell? He's just trying to go out all out defending everybody. It's like those mothers who defend their kids, right? When they molest women. They're like,
I mean, if Rohit Sharma is saying that, because Rohit Sharma also said that during some press conference or something. So for him to say that, it makes some kind of sense, because he scored 90 runs on that pitch. But yeah, I mean, just broadly speaking, I don't think it was a easy pitch to bat, good pitch to bat on. I mean, come on.
Let's not talk about Broad right now. He didn't bowl anything. So, were you right when you saying like now last match I was complaining that you were saying Indians are great players but Indians played better. But now when after Joe Root takes 8 wickets, I'm just wondering, were you actually right? Because he takes 5 wickets for 8 runs. Anybody could have taken those. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? And it's like top order batsman. It's not like I know he took Aksar and everything, but he got top order batsman out when he was bowling.
I think Rahane,
middle order and everything. Yeah,
middle
Rahane,
order,
he also got Pant. I mean, a player who can generally bat. Now the fact that Aksar can also bat, right? All these players are actually batsmen. He got even Ashwin also. He got right eventually. So
Ashwin.
Because he got at the end he got all the 5 wickets.
Yeah,
because the 5 wickets had already fallen in the last 5.
Leach had taken 4 wickets, and after that he was not able to get the 5th one because all the wickets were going towards him. So what was the question? I forgot.
I mean, just saying that it just kind of consolidates your point a little bit. Because, that probably Indians are actually not good. It's more of a myth that sometimes they can look, but it's definitely not consistent. What I can definitely say is that yes, at times it is sure, and Rohit Sharma has definitely shown it. But as a rule, no. I think consistently no. But at times it is possible that they get stuck in. But it can actually get to their head, just like it got to English batsman head, and it was they're finding it difficult as well.
Yeah. That's what I was saying, because last time also they scored runs because the England bowlers were not consistent. Imagine them being consistent. I think the Indians would have struggled in the last match as well.
Correct.
And they did struggle in the second innings.
Yeah. So moving on to the next one, I'm thinking it's a long question, but again, we can't have a elaborate discussion. But you're saying Motera dust polls are there. Should this be? People are saying that it should be banned, but I feel there should be a middle ground. Now a lot of people say that was it a fair contest between bat and ball? But there'll never be a fair contest between bat and ball. You will stretch limits, right? But there is some limit has to be there, because what happens when the pitches become like this, as a lot of people are saying, this is like a lottery, right? It's like a lottery. There's a skill element which completely goes out of the window, and when that goes out of the window from the finest, most amazing part of cricket, which is Test cricket, then it just becomes like T20, because this was even worse than T20. If you're gonna remove the skill element, people are like, but the skill is there. You could have still batted like Rohit Sharma. No, my point is, when Joe Root bowls, not only gets all these wickets, when we have players like the greatest bowler, like the highest wicket taker ever in the history, James Anderson, and he's also like so old, he's like 55 years old. Then there's Broad, who also has more than 500 wickets. We have Jasprit Bumrah, like right now he's like the best bowler. Then we have Ishant Sharma, who's played 100 test matches, and there's like very few players who are actually fast bowlers played 100 test matches. Somehow he got a wicket. Yeah, he got a wicket as well. I mean, actually Anderson would have gotten a wicket as well, but Ollie Pop dropped it because Ollie Pop was like completely flustered by the spin. He just, and he, I don't know if you're watching it, but the ball actually, he misjudged the ball, so the ball actually hit his finger. Because even I'm showing my finger on the screen, as you know, like one of my finger is a little bit tilted, right? So that's the same thing. I wasn't standing at the exact same point, but I think he was probably at gully and I was at point. So ball hit me and I had taken the catch, but my finger was also bleeding that time. And I don't know if you watched it, his finger was bleeding. Did you see
Okay,
it?
didn't notice that. No.
Okay, so what happened was he dropped the catch, and instead of then they showed that his finger is bleeding because he was wiping it off his pants, and there was blood everywhere, and did not call for medical attention because that's how much they're like right now. He was so much pressure there, and he said,
Yeah,
"Fuck it,
yeah,
I'm just going to hold on to it." He must have gotten it at the end of the over or something, but
yeah.
because it's a fast bowler, they take a lot of time to bowl, and he just kind of like
Plus, you
kept
have
rubbing it
dropped.
on his pants, and there was like blood everywhere. It was just not. He just didn't want to go because you're just in such a shitty point. You're like, "Fuck it, I just can't bat," and now I've dropped a catch when it's almost impossible for a pace bowler to take a wicket. But luckily, like every other time it has happened, every time something they've dropped a catch, England or the third umpire has screwed up something, the batsman has gotten out immediately. So that did not work out that badly. Now coming back to the point, now I feel this is disastrous for test matches because this is not something that you would want to see all the time.
Yeah.
Because next thing, what is next? They can have rat burrows there. They can have potholes. I mean, is this something which we want for all the test matches just because under the guise of home advantage? Because I know they're not dangerous physically, but they're dangerous really, really mentally. And because everybody loves mental stuff these days, everybody's depressed. And when you ask Dom Bess, he doesn't know it picked because of the pitches. Oli Pope, Johnny Bairstow, and all the great English fast bowlers who just pretty much don't do anything, don't get to do anything because they don't even get to bowl. They don't take any wickets.
Yeah.
They don't get to bowl. This is not good for mentally for anybody because it can just be really depressing for every other person. Because now we're saying like some people will enjoy it, but most of the people, when you think about really big, the bigger picture, it's not good for anyone because you just it's for short time fun. You can always make good pitches because see, recently Australian pitches haven't been as amazing as they were before. But Australia has been one country where every time you go to a pitch, there is something for everyone, and the pitch keeps evolving, and we have to give that credit to England also. Their pitches evolve. It's good, and then it starts to get deteriorating, and then something start different. And because the England weather is so amazing that it changes,
Weather
and when it gets
condition,
overcast, it starts changing. It just completely goes another direction. So because of overcast conditions, the ball starts swinging. Then you have reverse swing come into play. So we can still have a match where see. I know why they did it, right? Because after they lost the first match, it's the first match they tried to give a pitch which is going to be friendly. They lose the toss. Then they run into Joe Root, who just makes a double century, completely amazing form. And then they're like, listen, we can't lose. Virat Kohli, if they had lost the second test match, people would have been just all over Virat Kohli and said, make Ajinkya Rahane the captain. Then Ajinkya Rahane would have been the greatest captain of averaging 7 while batting, and then probably winning a couple of matches here and there because of Virat Kohli. And Virat Kohli would have been angry. But then at the end, it was like, listen, you have to win the matches. This is all it was about. And also India's final in the WTC was World Test Championship. Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm saying the right acronym. Was also at stake. Now all India has to do is like not lose the match, and India's through, right? Because otherwise Australia will be through if India loses the match. Otherwise India is playing New Zealand, I believe, in the final in Lords in June.
Lords.
If it happens in Lords or wherever the date changes or something. So England's definitely out. Now, I don't know, just if you can quickly give your 15 cents of opinion on this thing, please.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, it's unfair. It's unfair on both bowlers and batsmen because now Joe Root is taking 5 wickets, and his record will probably stay for dozens of years. That some visiting team captain has taken 5 wickets. I mean, he made so many records with that bowling spell, and similarly for batsmen, right? But the batsmen who are playing, they if they get this wicket day in and day out, probably they will chalk out some strategy to counter it. But you will never see, the long innings like 100s and 200s. So it has to be fair, as you said. Perfect balance cannot be found. That's not physically possible. But I think it should. I mean, we are not pitch curators. We don't know the science, but I don't think it will be very hard because we had similar pitches in India before where it is good for batting for a couple of days and then starts deteriorating. And as you said, they try to make that in Chennai, but then because the ball gets softer and we didn't have the second spinner, so it was very difficult for us to take the wickets in the first innings. So I mean that's all fine, but this is your job as pitch curator, right? You have the world's best infrastructure in place. You have the world's biggest the stadium, and you have all the money, you can do it, right? This can be done. I don't think this should be a very difficult task. You can still have spin on the pitch and still make sure that it doesn't break until the third day. Because that has been the problem, right? It starts breaking the soil becomes very loose. We saw it in the match that it was just the dust was blowing off the surface. So it has to be fair to both of them as much as possible. That's the only way to have a good contest. That's why we get, as you were saying about Australia, that's why we get very good, very close contest in Australia, that even when the pitches are flat, there's always something for the bowlers. Whether it's the fast bowlers, there is bounce. If for the spinners, it starts deteriorating. So yeah, I think that would be fair. Yeah.
So something like this, my point was that, you might get, when Akshar Patel, my point is like, I'm just going to say it very quickly and then we'll move on.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody takes 10 wickets, 11 wickets on pitches like this, it does not show that they're great bowlers. We agree, right? Then for fast bowlers, it's nothing. So how are we going to get a fast bowler? Think about long term, right? If every pitch was like this, we'll never get any fast bowlers. Spinners, they will be so, they just get these juicy wickets and then they'll never become better spinners because they never got anything like pitches where they had to work hard.
That's why we didn't have good fast
batsmen will have batsmen will just have to find a technique, a certain way that they can actually score 30, 35 runs. And if they can, they will win the match. It's as simple as that, right? So, which can be done by like standing very, way ahead, trying to hit a couple of balls for sixes, which T20 batsmen can do, and put like 175 on the board. And then let's hope that something like Joe Root situation happens, and then they lose quick wickets very suddenly. So that is something. Nobody will score hundreds. Is that how we want cricket to move forward? No, we want a cricket match when it's just so competitive that everybody is in the game. Everyone is in the game.
It should be a test for both. Yeah, correct. It should be a test for both the bowling and the batting department. It should not be just a test for the batting department. So,
exactly. And unlike baseball, when you talk about bowling, there are different types of bowling, right? Also, the fact that on this pitch, it kind of even negates the whole idea of a leg spinner. Leg spinner is much more difficult art than off spin, because you have to like go behind, because you're not a finger spinner. Finger spinning is much easier than actually rolling your arm. And now when the finger spinner is feeling so much and just can get so much deviation, so much control, the leg spinners pretty much goes out of the game. Who is the most glamorous? Like leg spin is the most glamorous thing. That goes out of the picture. Swing goes out of the picture. It's not spinning. Nothing is happening. Batsmen go out of the picture. All you want somebody who can dash a couple of balls, or when the ball is doing very well, the best batsman might survive a little bit longer. Everybody else, they literally don't have a chance, because now they're saying, listen, I'm a good player of spin, but not this bloody spin. I have no idea what to do, because even Joe Root, who is literally, you can see the first test match, he was literally amazing. But now even he knows that he's going to get out, because you can't, like, there is going to be balls you just can't do nothing about, and there's going to be like so many of them. No matter what you do, you're going to get out. So that was my 17 cents, because I just wanted 17 because yours is 15, so I just wanted to be better than you. Now, I had another question about English batsmen, but like quickly switching that. Moving on to the next question. As you know, the captains and umpires have to rate the pitch, as we saw in that podcast. Now, a lot of people are saying that at least the English pundits, as they call them, technically they're saying like they will be marking the pitch. The captains will mark and the umpires will mark. So they're saying because they'll end up marking them poor, substandard, we're not going to get the same pitches, and the ICC will make sure that these pitches don't happen again, blah blah blah. But the problem with that is, this is Indian players. Do you think Kohli is going to mark it bad? Kohli's probably going to mark it like amazing for batting. Wasn't spinning so much. Can we have more spin or something like that? So, a lot of balls is just going straight. So it's just a problem. Now, and then Rohit Sharma and Rishabh Pant will probably sit on Menon. And then Kohli will fill his match report saying the like pitch was like A+++, absolute beauty. So, like Indian people will, and that's the same way people were saying, like, if in the podcast, if you listen to the Nasser Hussain and everybody, Arthur and all, so they were saying that if Kohli, like Menon did not have a problem, umpire did not have a problem, they didn't complain about Joe Root or Virat Kohli, that's why. So if umpires don't have a problem, so that's okay. But the point is that Menon does not want to be in bad books of Virat Kohli or Joe Root. That's why he's not complaining, not because what was said was not right. And I personally feel what Joe Root was saying was, I don't know exactly what he said, but I mean, we understand
He
the
said,
context, but Joe Root was complaining that, dude, this is not how you do the review. At least do the full review. What Virat Kohli was complaining about was umpire's decision. What is Menon supposed to do with that? It's umpire decision. He's not supposed to give out because you think he's supposed to giving out. Like, what the hell is that all about? Because what happened with England was, because these people are rushing everything, the third umpire, by the way, on-field umpiring, fairly good. Menon, amazing at times. So, I mean, so much pressure. I mean, he missed a couple of edges, but there are so many people there. You're going to miss edges. It's just crazy, right? But with the decisions, trust me, I have done umpiring in my school. I have no idea. It's very difficult because you can't even see the ball so much. You know where it hit. It's almost difficult. People say, okay, they know where it hit certain part of the pad. I have done umpiring. So you can't even sometimes tell where the hell did it hit because the batsman is running around everywhere. So you just you're assuming that it hit like lower, upper. I have no idea. It's just confusing. So these guys are really, really good for that regard. But do you think that Virat Kohli was out of... Okay, sorry, let's go back to this question. Like, captains and the umpires probably not going to give the fair review on this thing because, as I said, umpires don't want to be in the bad books and they probably just be like, and it's Indian umpires, so they're not going to be as blunt. And Virat Kohli is just going to be completely ridiculous by giving it A++ or something. So ICC technically cannot do something if they don't have the bad report for this thing.
No, I think if the visiting team gives a bad rating, there could be something. I mean, I don't know about the exact law, but what Wisden Cricket said that if there is a disparity between the bat and ball, then it can be termed as a poor pitch. So I am pretty sure that it will not be termed as a poor pitch because it's an Indian pitch. Let's be honest, this whole thing is run by India. The cricket. I don't see this happening, that this pitch will be termed poor because they have to play the next match on this pitch and the other 5 matches. So it's not going to happen. Plus it's a Narendra Modi stadium, so forget about it. I think that and it's good that people are making noise about it because officially nothing is going to happen, I'm pretty sure. But if a lot of media attention and everything is on this thing, probably we'll get a better pitch on the next for the next test match. So that's that. And talking about the decisions, I think Joe Root was asking for some consistency for the stumping decision. Was it the stumping one? Yeah,
there was stumping decision. There was the Rahane decision. They were being too hasty with the Ben Stokes catch decision. At least look at the other's angle, even if it's rare. I understand the sentiment there of the umpire because I'm one of those people who's always been irritated by the fact when it's like they know it's out or they know it's not out. They're like, show me the other angle, director, please show me the other. But when this happens, when you know what happened with Rahane, right? Rahane was out. And you don't give him out because you're just not looking at it. When the guy is literally saying, please, can you please look at it? Like, what the hell is that about? And then the other thing, Rohit Sharma happened when he's not playing a shot and the umpire thinks you're playing a shot. The third umpire needs to tell them that, no, he's not playing a shot in the million years. That's not how you play a shot. His bat is hiding behind his bat. You don't play a shot like that. That's just common sense, right? So when those things are happening, when you know that you have Indian umpires, also when you're playing in India, why don't you just see another angle? That's what he was saying. That's not too much to ask for.
So I completely agree with that. That it should have they should have looked at another angle. This is a test match, not a T20 where there's limited time and everything. So that was that. But I don't know whether you remember there was a catch which was claimed by Ben Stokes, and that's was what reversed.
I said, right? Ben Stokes' catch was there. They also ran through it very quickly.
But that was something which people were saying that it was clearly flowed, and then I think Joe Root was arguing that no, man should look it from another angle. But obviously we have already seen that in the second test match also, that the third umpire, who was the other umpire. So in the second test the third umpire was different, and in this test the third umpire was different, but they are both doing the same thing. So I'm not sure is this something coaching issue or something, I don't know. But it doesn't make any sense to be not look at it from another angle or whatever you have. I guess I completely agree with that.
All right, so I had a couple of questions, but I think we've done too much, and I think it will be that's another really long issue, and so I'm going to go to the final one. But I will say one thing in this thing. See, I totally understand what the umpires are doing in Ben Stokes situation. You can see it. You say, okay, get on with it, because a lot of time I say the same thing. Why you constantly keep looking? It's obvious, right? But what is happening, because England is in India, there's a special situation because of COVID restrictions. You can't have neutral umpires. The same situations happened before with Rahane, with Rohit, multiple times it has happened. Just look at the other angle. Just do it. Like, just do it so they are satisfied. That's all. Because when you take the catches, right, sometimes it looks more like when you same with the stumping, right? From one angle it might look different, from the other angle it might look not as bad, right? So when you're taking the catch, sometimes it looks it's been grasped. I think Stokes was looking a lot more grasped than a lot, but because a lot of time when the catch is going directly in your hand, because your fingers are underneath it, but if you see from the front on angle, it looks like you're grasping it, but if you see from a side on angle, you say your fingers are always there. So now all they had to do was same from side and angle, they would have been satisfied. That's all. What they were complaining is that why there is such a rush to just decide that, and when the decision is always going against England, that's what they were asking for, as simple as that. But I do understand the sentiment, and a lot of time I would say let's not waste too much time, particularly on the is it a 3-run or a 4-run, is the like, when they have the boundaries and all, just get on with it, for heaven's sake, my 3 or 4 runs, right? So okay, the final question is, one is fantasy team, one is my, and I'm very serious about this thing, the second one. The first one, I think England should just play all 11 batsmen, and because it's going to be a day match, so it's going to get really, really, really fucking hot now in Ahmedabad. So I want Joe Root and Ben Stokes, whatever you says like about Ben Stokes being dropped, I want Ben Stokes to play. He's the greatest batsman in 2020 in February. Now, Joe Root and Ben Stokes will bowl all out, and Dan Lawrence and Zach Crawley will bowl when Joe Root and Ben Stokes faint in Ahmedabad because it's a 40-degree sun. Now, that's my fantasy team, but let's just be realistic. Let's give other people a chance. I want to pick England to pick 9 batsmen, and I'm dead serious about this thing, because you need to do something else. See, you're going to lose the match anyway. You need to think out of the fucking box. Okay, you put Leach and Bess on, you need 2 bowlers, you put Root. How many, you realize fast bowlers have bowled nothing. As you realize, Bumrah is also on leave for personal reasons. Okay, everybody's on leaves. Bumrah is like, I'm not even playing. What to do? So Bess, Leach and Bess bowl. Joe Root is there. Ben Stokes is already a fast bowler. He can bowl alongside. Hardly he's going to bowl 5 overs anyway. That will give England the best chance to beat India at their own game, because no matter what people say, I just feel England needed another 30 odd runs in both innings, and this would have been a match. India can still lose, but playing their own game, India can lose. England just needs to just have a different tactic, and everybody needs to just go all out. When you go smashing, just make that 30 odd runs. Because Zach Crawley, as you noticed, he played like it was a normal pitch. Zach Crawley and Rohit Sharma seems to be playing on a different pitch altogether. But when Zach Crawley came out the second time, he looked completely out of sorts. So sometimes maybe you need to mix it up a little bit. You need to put the batsman who is feeling like, I'm feeling good. Put that person to go in to start with. And then maybe that person can put something on the board. Okay. Just play around a bit. Just play around with Indian bowlers' mind a bit. Just fuck them a little bit. Because there's nothing to lose, right? You cannot, it's like, I'm just following the same way Marcelo Bielsa goes about it. He said, listen, you're going to score 6 against us? No, you're going to beat us like 2-0 if we defend 1-0 maybe? No, we'd rather let you score 6 and we'll score 4 against you. And then we'll tell like we scored 4 against Manchester United. Because that's the way they're going to go. They're going to go all out. Just go all out. And you can win. I think England can win. Let them come out with another bad pitch. Let's just see. England needs to put enough bowlers out there and make sure that give Dom Bess confidence. Let's say, because Dom Bess does take wicket. It's not like he wasn't taking wicket. He just need to land the ball properly. I don't know where his confidence is right now, because after this happens, I don't know. But then as long as he's mentally a little bit okay, and he's not mentally very fragile, and maybe Joe Root might also not want to say something shit about him in the press. I can understand why they say it, because I'm also a similar person. But England can still win. That's my idea. 9 batsmen, 2 bowlers, and Stokes and Root are anyway all-rounder. Root can definitely be all-rounder right now. So I think that's the best strategy instead of going with 11 batsmen, because I mean, it's going to be hot, right? It's going to be hot. Ben Stokes is going to be like, it will be Ben Stokes. And
he'll get a stroke.
Yeah, he will, because he's a fast bowler. Joe will be like, I can bowl. I'll put ice pack on my head. But Ben Stokes is actually going to get Ben Stokes. in the 40-degree, because this is going to be day match. It's going to be completely day. So there's no respite. And
Yeah.
by the way, Ahmedabad is dry fucking heat, man. It's dry heat.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. So yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they should play another spinner, because it's just depending upon Leach, and then
Just say Bess. Please say Bess. Bess might watch
please
this.
play Bess, and
might like
don't make so many changes. I don't know what's their rotation policy again. I mean, what's their plan?
I don't think there any more rotation now. People are here now. They can just play batsmen. And Stokes is there. Root is a bowler. They don't need any, because they never use anybody. Nobody ever uses anybody. It doesn't matter. They just pack it up with like batsmen.
And players who are not able to survive, not able to defend, like Stokes or Ollie Pope, they should just try to unsettle the bowler. Just walk on the pitch, or walk on the pitch not to destroy the pitch, but to get to the pitch of the ball. And because they are not trying to do anything different. That's what I've seen in the last 4 innings. They're just sitting back inside the pitch and trying to play the spin, right? That is not going to work out. That is not going to happen in India, because the spin because these people are not taking proactive decisions, and they are not good enough. Their technique is not good enough to play against this much spin. And the next test match, even if the wicket will be better, it will still spin. Maybe not from the first day, but from the second it will definitely spin. So they have to, the people who are not technically strong, either they have to they have to be replaced. I know it's a very unpopular thing to say, but I feel that Ben Stokes should be dropped, because he's not bowling, and whenever he's bowling, he's looked very ordinary. And batting, he has no clue. He tried to hit. In fact, even in the first test match, he got lucky. It was dropped like twice. So either he has to get out from the team, or either he has to play the way he plays, the way he knows. He has to play attacking, because if you don't attack, you are anyway losing, right? So it's better to attack the bowlers, better to make them think about it. And that's what they're not doing in the last 2 test matches. So yeah, play the spinner and attack the bowlers. That should be their strategy.
All right, now you're just talking fire, you're walking on thin ice, you're already talking shit about Ran, and now you're talking shit about one of the greatest batsmen, Ben Stokes. I can understand your logic at some level. It's very difficult, but my point is that he will bowl. If the 9 batsman strategy will go, he is the one pace bowler who can bowl. He can do reverse swing, he will bowl. They have to make him bowl, and he can bat. He can make those few runs. And I would rather have him open the innings and just go after them. He's a left armer. Just mix and match. Instead of going with like the batting lineup, go left and right combinations. Just confuse the fucking bowlers. So if he's the moment left arm bowler, instead of saying, okay, my point is, instead of trying to target 275 runs, you tell yourself, no, we don't want 275, we want 175. Then your mind will be clear. No, forget this 275. Say 175, that's what we want. Anything else is bonus. Now, because when you're thinking 275, that's why you end up getting 81. Because you're like, okay, we'll have to defend. No, when you're just targeting 175, and I can tell you, 175 is going to be enough in both innings. 350 runs is more than enough to beat India. Because India will not survive. And Rohit Sharma has already played very well. Now he's already having a lot of biryani, lot of beef. Yeah, well, he didn't have beef, right? Somebody did. So Rishabh Pant and everybody, so they're going to have a lot of stuff. These guys are going to be stomach full. Right now, the onus is completely on England. England can really outsmart. They just stop expecting, and I think the outside clamor needs to stop. Stop talking shit about the pitch, because this is getting to people's head that ball is spinning. No, just target 175. Anything else is bonus. You can get 175. It's not difficult, because you just have to go all out. Just really go all out. Destroy them. Destroy. Akshar Patel's his first match. Just destroy the guy, man. Just fucking destroy it.
Yeah, the ball is spinning for both the teams, right? And as Root has displayed that if he can get 5 wickets, so that means we are not such a, we as in the Indian players, we are not such a great player of spinning delivery. So just go out attacking, just go out. Don't sit inside the crease. Go out. Come out of the crease. Things will happen.
All right. So I think we've spoken a lot. So on that note, I'll just say like and subscribe if you want to. I mean, I have to say that. I don't like saying it, but I have to say it. No, what can you do? So
we should say in the beginning, not at
we
the
should
end.
say in the beginning. Nobody watches this podcast. People are like, oh, you're saying in the evening. No, if I say in the beginning, people like shut it off. It's like, these guys just like selling. This is upselling. So anyway, take care. And I know some people actually watch it. I mean, at least I watch my own podcast. So all right, my mother watches it. So take care. Let's see what happens in the third test, which is still fair way away, because right now we were thinking we're going to be talking about the fourth day, but the match has already ended because it just ended in second day or somewhere. Didn't even finish the second day. So it's been crazy. And I'm just going to go back to watch football, which is much more interesting. Although 2-day test match is amazing. All right, take care. This is me, Gav. This is Bic. And have a good weekend. Bye now.
Bye-bye.